So what's up, guys? I am back again, and this is very, very random. I have no content ideas, and so I just decided, let me look for a questionnaire, a deep questionnaire, and ask myself questions so that you guys can get to know a little bit more about me. So I found this website. I haven't seen the questions yet, so this should be very, very interesting. I don't know how many questions there is, so I'm going to answer all of them. There is 25 questions. It's not bad, so let's go through them. I'm not going to edit them at all, so good luck with this one. I'll make sure I go fast. Okay, so number one is, what or who would you sacrifice your life for? My son. That's the obvious. He's 2 years old. Number two, what single event has had the biggest impact on who you are? What single event? I'm gonna say my divorce really changed me as a person, and I saw things in a different perspective. Sorry. When it came to like morals and like marriage and like relationships, I think I figured out that. Wow, I need water. I figured out that. I figured out that people can tell you like one thing and then like their actions are just different. I also figured out that people are great liars, and you'd be surprised who your worst enemy could ever be. That's what I learned. Okay, number three. Do you think the future will be better than the present? I mean, honestly, I don't really think about my future because I think life is very unpredictable, and I've said that for so many years. I think more of my son's future than myself. Um, Honestly, I'm the type of person that I just live in the moment. Some people say it's a bad thing, but I just disagree. And also I see like older people that are in their deathbed. They're like, oh, I wish I would have lived a better life and the life I wanted to have, and not be so pressured of what other people think. So I go with that, and that's it. Number four. Do you think human morality is learned or innate? Innate. I think it's learned, honestly. What's the most crucial thing for a healthy relationship? Communication. I've learned that the hard way with my fiance. He's very great with communication. Me, I'm not confrontational. I'm scared. Um, Number six is, what lies do you most often tell yourself? That I don't care, but truly I do care because I'm very, very sensitive. Number seven, do you think the present is better than 50 years ago, and why? Yes, I think it's better because of internet, and it's easier to find things out by yourself. Simple. Number eight, what keeps you up at night? Um, it could be a couple things. Maybe like an argument that I had with a person that I truly care about. It could be work, um, awkwardness, really, something that really is deep. And that's it, really. Number nine, what's the most extreme example of poverty you've seen? Ex- Extreme example of poverty, honestly. Honestly, maybe in Colombia, where you see like indigenous people on the floor, and like a whole family has their legs like this, literally like this, and they're just sitting there. I think that's the most extreme thing I've ever seen with my own eyes. Number 10 is, what do a lot of parents do that screw up their kids? Um, Teaching them selfishness, teaching them to be selfish. Um, Also, telling their kid that they're not good enough and they're not smart enough, and teaching them to have a bad temper. I think that's a bad thing, and it's difficult. Number 11. Do you think that war is inevitable? I can't even say it. Do you think that the war is inevitable or can be ended completely? It could be ended, but people are very greedy, in my opinion, and everyone wants more territory, which I think is stupid. Number 12 is, what is the most important thing a person can do to improve themselves? I think do what makes you happy, and then when you do things that make you happy, you're less stressed and you don't get sick. I think stress is like the worst thing that a person can go through, especially when it comes to work. Number 13 is, what much is a human life worth, and are some lives worth more than others? I mean, if you want to talk about money, that doesn't matter, man, because you have so many people that have a lot of money and they're shitty inside. So I think when it comes to being rich, is rich in your heart and what you do for others, in my opinion. Number 14. Will humans spread out among the stars or just be a brief blip in Earth's history? Well, since the internet exists, I think there'll be something for everyone in the internet, and that's how people won't forget you. And when people talk about you, really. But I think you live more when people talk about you, in my opinion. Number 15 is, what makes a person truly evil? Are they born that way, or did their environment make them that way? Ooh. I think heartbreak makes a person evil to a certain point. Being betrayed makes a person change. What makes a person truly evil is looking for revenge, I think. Hurting someone else to fire back at them, I think. Are they born that way? I mean, if you're a serial killer, I think your parents should have, I think, protected you and seen and just watch you, while they raise you, maybe. And it could be your environment as well. If you have a toxic environment, I think it had, you could either be a good person or a bad person. I think you choose it at the end of the day. Number 16 is, do you think that humans as a species have gotten better through the generations or worse? I think it's environment. But I think, in general, I think it's more positive. I think people are more intelligent now and more self-aware, which is great because of the internet. Number 17, what are some examples of small changes that can be made that really improve the lives of a country's citizens? The protests, people speaking out for others, and having a voice, honestly. And defending different types of races, just how we're doing right now. I think it's a great thing. Number 18, why have apocalyptic games, movies, shows, and books become so popular in the past few years? What does it say about our culture, society? I don't think much of it. I think it's just a game. I think it's just a movie. I think it's just a show. And if you take it too seriously, then it's a personal problem. Number 19, is there any way for governments to avoid power corrupting its politicians? I mean, I feel like the government controls the politicians, in my opinion. It says, if not, what part of human nature makes corruption unavoidable? I think when there's racism, like now, and like, for example, they know that Trump isn't really defending the people that, like, the racism, the racist people feed off that shit, and that's just not right. And so if you don't have a positive role model as a president, then I think you're fucked. Number 20. If science makes it possible to predict which people will be more likely to commit crimes, should the highest risk individuals be jailed or killed before they can commit crimes? No. I think it's based off how you're raised, who you hang out with. Just like they say, you're a product of your own environment, in my opinion. Number 21. Sorry, that's my son. um, why are there so many people who are lonely? Why is it so hard for people to make real connections when almost everyone wants to make real connections? I think um, people don't like to know the truth about themselves. In my opinion, I'm like that. Nobody likes to get hurt, and if someone tells you how it is, you don't like it. And so there's people like me that don't like confrontation. And when I truly, like, I get attached to people personally, and I think people already know that. But I feel like if I don't get what I want, then there's no point in having that friendship. Um, you know, I personally don't like half-assed connections. So I think people are lonely because they're afraid to get hurt, and that's all there is to it, and it goes both ways. I've gotten hurt so many times, and it's just I'd rather just kick it by myself, and that's it. Number 22. What are the most common roadblocks that stop people from achieving their dreams? Their parents, their shitty friends that don't support them and don't believe in them, and finances, most of the time. Number 23. Why are people so bad at judging risks? For example, people are terrified of murders, terrorists, and flying, but they are much more likely to die driving to the store. I think basically people are afraid because you see it so much on TV and on movies and stuff like that. So, I mean, you can't avoid it. You can't control life. So, it is what it is. Number 24. What are some examples of outside behaviors that are symptoms of inner emotional scars? Mm, I think when people. I think when people criticize you, and it comes from a person that you care about and that you love, and then a person that, like, for example, your parents, if they're the ones that hurt you or they're the ones that bully you since you're a child, that's gonna stay for you forever because it's your parents and that's all you know. Also, people that abuse you, that stays with you, especially if you're a child, or if someone abandons you as a child, that is a long road of healing, in my opinion. And I've met so many people that have been abandoned. 25. This is the last question. Why does society place such high value on beauty when it serves no functional purpose? Um, because that's what makes money, and it's pretty to look at. But everyone knows that after a while, beauty doesn't really. You get tired of it after a while if there's nothing in here. So I just think having deep connections matter because there's always something to talk about, and you learn more new perspectives from other people. You just learn more from people with a brain than with this. But hey, it's a plus if you're beautiful on the outside and beautiful on the inside. And yeah, that's basically it, guys. What do you guys think? These were great questions, in my opinion. that's that. Thank you for watching, and on to the next video. See you later, guys. Bye.